Hello everyone, my dear ones. I sure have missed talking with you. It's been a few weeks now, I think. Well, it's been about a week since I've done a video, right, Drew? But I tell you, the Christmas holidays moving. We had to move our staff a little bit here. Whoops. Look at the beauty of these chocolates. Now, these are raw, organic, GMO-free. These are all raw chocolates. Aren't they beautiful? I couldn't even believe this. One of the YouTubers came in, and this is what she does for a business. They live in Kentucky, from Czech, and beautiful, incredible work. We'll link to her website if you all want to try some beautiful handmade chocolates and things. Just incredible. It's just amazing. I was thinking raw chocolate. She came in, I'm going, yeah, let's see. And when we opened it up, we go, wow. And incredible. This incredible. All of you guys are just so beautiful in all the things that you do. Isn't it beautiful to make good things for people that are beautiful, but they're all 100% raw and natural? If we can do it, the world can do it, right?
And that looks better than even the process.
And it's better than the Belgium. Oh,
right.
Are you kidding? Everybody, I'm having a hard time keeping everybody's hands off of this. So I want to take over there and we'll have a little party with that. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, my friend.
Fun.
Thank you. Customer members, could you please record a 7 to 10 minute video for guided meditation? You know what? I'd be happy to give you a guided meditation. And we'll do a couple of meditations. Matter of fact, maybe we'll do one on this. I know some of you probably might not like that, but I'll be happy to do a guided meditation. There's several ways. When you realize that you're a being that is infinite, an infinite being, and you're experiencing the finite worlds of creation as you would go to the movie theater and watch a movie, except you're the director, the actor, you're the whole 9 yards. You created it all in one way of looking at it. And the other way of looking at it, creation is already finished and it just put itself into its own creation to develop itself. And so it's interesting. So understanding that you're using bodies to identify, just like you got in your car and you went over to, let's say, Tampa, or you went over to Sedona, Arizona. You're just taking a vehicle and traveling to another place. That's creation. Place to place to place to place. It's all materiality. It's all like atoms created form, which is the illusion of life. Form is the illusion. It's just formed atoms that reform all the time. We are in a constant state of reformation. Birth, life, and death is the tentacles of creation. So, knowing that you're a being that's using vehicles, you have to start stepping away from these vehicles. Meditation, of course, is shutting down the external sensories of the physical body, but you got other bodies. Remember, you got your emotional body. When you feel and you got emotions, that's a whole nother body. You've got the mind, and that is divided into 3 different bodies. The ego, that's when you consciousness is brought down in and individualized. When that's accentuated, you see that. You see that once in a while on our site. You see it in places where people's ego, narcissism on this planet. And this is why education breeds narcissism in a certain way, because it is dealing with the mind and perpetrating the mind. And the mind separates life. It's needed because everything is one. You come from an infinite part of allness. And to make that allness into individual pieces, it has to embody itself. It has to create these little bodies that you look through. So when you stop and you start pulling back in meditation, you're really just taking your attention off of your bodies and pulling it back to yourself again. That's all you're doing. So it's kind of like looking through a window, but you have several layers or worlds. Jesus called it rooms in my Father's mansion, but he was talking about the different realms or levels of heavens that exist, and you could look at it that way. There are so many different levels of heaven. Why would you think a a being that is infinite that would just have a little planet here. And some religions have limited the understanding of God to a little pinhead, when really you're talking about the infiniteness, the omnipresence, omnipotent, omniscience. That means it's an all being. That means there's no room for anything else because it's all. There's nothing outside of the all. See, it's easy to understand that. So meditation, I like to use the word contemplation, but really it's just pulling your attention back from your bodies. And the only way you can do that is quit using the bodies as the point of reference. All right, so physical body. Quit identifying with the senses, and that's how we kind of go into meditation and shut down. And there's an old saying that you have to go in to get out, because you're pulling away from this world. This world has your attention focused outwardly. When you start to withdraw it, you start to see more, because now your focused attention is released. Now you can see. The same thing in thought. If you get wrapped up in thought, then you lose your ability to see everything else around you, because your attention is trapped in your thinking processes. And that's what our current education does to us. It wants to control your attention through thought. And so academics is highly praised here. But you notice those that have the highest levels, many of them that are not spiritualized, are narcissistic as heck, meaning very, very egotistical. They think they know better than anybody else. That travels down into socialism, communism, that sort of thinking. When you have those that feel superior than others and that they know what's good for everybody, even though they don't follow that themselves. That's typical when you see that in France. You see it in the Obama thing. You see it in all these things where everybody else should do these things, but the ones saying that a little apart from that. Amazing when you see all that. It's enough to say that in your contemplations, you want to pull back. You can move yourself somewhere else. So what you can do is you can put yourself on the beach. You can put yourself walking up a path, up a mountain, smelling the pine trees. And you're doing this in a totally relaxed state where you're just relaxing. But you're taking your attention, not your mind. You keep that mind down. Keep the mind down. Just let that imagination go, and it can move you somewhere else. But that is not getting to who you are. That's a traveling. I did a lot about a traveling. The masters were working with me for what we're doing now, and there's just a lot going on there. So traveling was my thing. And then about, I'd say 15 years into that, I was already in the now person. So I just realized that I'm focusing on creation instead of consciousness. Instead of the awareness that I am, I'm playing in the fields of movies and soap operas and things like this, which you notice that every day is a soap opera, one way or another. So your contemplation should be that, and you younger guys and gals, some of you remember where you came from. Some of you have hints of memories. Don't lose those. Don't get too wrapped up in academics. Keep yourself a little bit free in remembering that, who you are and where you came from. Because it's easy to forget down here. And then frustration and despair and unhappiness and loneliness. Even though everything is totally alone in its own self, loneliness is not a good thing either. So no one is alone. We're all one. We all come from consciousness. So this is why we need to love and respect each other and, bring this up a little bit more here. So those kind of meditations, no matter how you do that. Remember, there's two types. The type that moves you from one part of creation to another. You can get out of the physical body, be in your astral body, and travel all through the astral world. You can't get into the mental worlds, but you can travel astrally. And that's the next world up. For those of you that think this is wild, look up the Monroe Institute. I think it was John Monroe. He traveled the out-of-body astral world so much, he wrote many books about the astral world. Mapped it out really well as far as I know. I've never met him, but I've always been inspired by his desire to help. His institute guarantees, I think he was saying they had 97% success in getting you out of your body through music. Isn't that pretty cool? So it's just becoming more of who you really are. And that is such a divine and beautiful thing, because you start getting smiles, you start being happy. Nothing can shake you, because your happiness doesn't rest in materiality. Your happiness rests in consciousness, in the fact that you're part of something so huge and so infinite. It's just a blessing. And to the Creator, my God, just looking around at this limited little hole, it's amazing. It's amazing. And that's part of understanding and how you grow. You know, here, when you take a look at the physical sciences, and this is sad when you're looking at allopathy and you're looking at some of biochemistry and stuff, and allopathy is a good example of a modality that set itself up on effects. And the chemistry and thinking in that and all that is based upon effects as opposed to causative factors. So the whole understanding is wrong. This is why you have the concept of diseases. It's an illusionary concept. It's a concept that's bred out of looking at symptoms, not bred out of understanding, taking that back. See, that's bred out of academics in the mind. So the mind likes to divide, separate, analyze, that sort of thing. Consciousness just is. It just knows. It just is factual. It just is. And so that's when you get into those levels, you begin to see that man's focus has been so off that he doesn't know where health is. So when you're talking about going back to the Homo sapien environment, of a tropical environment, of a tropical chemistry type ingestion, his health returns. And it's just that man has to understand it is his chemistry that's causing the problem. When you have a modality that, or anyone out there that doesn't, and it could be naturopathic, it could be chiropractic, when you say that your diet has absolutely nothing to do with diseases, that is an appropriate statement. Because diseases have nothing to do with chemistry or foods or anything else. These are things that just appear out of nowhere. They don't like you, so you contracted ALS or MS. You create everything, guys. You don't contract, you create. If you got some bacteria, and see, the whole focus is wrong. They're looking at the effect and seeing a bacterial action in interstitial fluids from an injury or something, going, oh man, wait, here's the bacteria, it's a problem. No, they're the effect. So you have to go back to the problem. Chemistry rules everything here. And if you're ignoring the chemistry of your diet and lifestyle, stupid, wrong, and going to create a lot of problems. And it already has for the AMA. If I'm a medical doctor and I'm paying out the wazoo for liability insurance because my teachings, my modality, my effect hurts people and can kill people, and I have to carry high insurance because of that, I'm in the wrong field. I'm in a field that's whopping along and not doing well. So we need truth right now. Medical doctors need to turn, naturopaths need to turn and understand you got to go back to what species is the Homo sapien? Is he an omnivore? Is he a carnivore? Is he a herbivore, or is he a frugivore? Those are the four basic vertebrates, baby, and we are frugivores. Period, plain and simple. And you can prove that by putting people on a frugivorish diet, and look what happens. They get their health back. Amazing stuff. But you cannot ignore the chemistry that you're bringing into your body, because everything is chemistry. And, even chemists will tell you that. It's just that. How do you get to theories? How do you get to that when you're working on effects? You can't use the Reams or anybody else's biochemical theories if you don't understand the initial ingestion of chemistry and what's supposed to take place. So it's just we are so whoppy-jawed and out of balance in our healthcare systems. Look at how much money. I know so many people that worked hard all their lives, did okay because they worked hard, they had some good money to retire on, got sick, and the AMA just took it all. That makes me want to throw up. And this is where we're at. Well, that's not why we're all here. We're here to change this, to elevate this, because this level can't keep grinding the same record. So we have to lift that up a little bit. And I think you're all doing such a beautiful job. I'm seeing all the wellness coming through here. You're all getting yourself in a healthy state. It's just exciting. I'll have to say that Jen asked me to ask you if you would kind of work with us a little bit. We're just, Christmas backed us up because we give everybody 2 days off for Christmas and 2 days off for New Year's. It's just, it's just one of those things where we try to get everybody to have some fun. We work real hard, those guys. Our whole staff works their butt off. I'm just telling you, they just work their butt off, and they deserve some time off. So we apologize. Work with us just here for a little bit. We get our orders caught up and everything, and we'll be good. So, yeah, this is our 3-day workshop coming up. I have always held back teaching iridology because, Doc was around, and there's a couple other guys around that friends of Doc's and friends of mine too that do iridology. But it's time that we teach iridology like it should be taught, to be honest with you. I've sat here and watched this for years and years and years, and Doc and I are really good friends, and I look at that, and I'm just, Ellen and what she's done to his work is an insult. I get nauseous when I think about that. If you don't like Doc's Iris chart, then make one of your own and put your name on it. Don't say revised by Ellen, because you don't have the awareness to revise Dr. Jensen's charts. And that's the problem. So it's a sad thing. Partly I think it's my fault. He flew me out there and asked me if I would take it, and I didn't, because I had so many things going on. My practice was going crazy, and I just couldn't take the international, iridology international. It was just too much. So, sad thing what happened, but it's enough to say we'll have fun with iridology, because we know things others don't in iridology, don't we? We'll have some fun with that. Iridology is fun, fun, fun. It's just, when you can look into somebody's eyes, and you young guys and gals should learn that, because you just look into your friend's eyes and you can see their whole body inside there. And that would spook your friends. It's like, how'd you know that? I see it in your eyes. It's good stuff. Okay, could you please, this is from Philip. Hey, Philip. I always like that name, Philip. Good name. Could you please discuss the statement, the brain produces consciousness, and your opinion on this? As a spiritual person, I would like to hear what you have to say about this statement in particular. Well, the brain does not produce consciousness. Consciousness produces the brain. Consciousness produces everything. The brain does not produce consciousness. That would be the thought of some intellectual that couldn't get much past the physical realm, even though they're in the mental realms more than anything else. Yeah, consciousness is the original, that is the all of everything. That is what gives you awareness. That's what gives plants awareness. That's the awareness behind the eyes of everything. That's why animals go for the eyes. That's the God. When you look through an eye, you're looking at God. And all plants have eyes. Everything has eyes, has awareness, has consciousness to it. And creation is born out of consciousness. The brain is just a chemical synapse. It's just an electrical system with neurons and things like this. Where is images and pictures stored? Is it stored in the physical brain? No. See, you have to understand how creation is put together. Now, these are available, and I just got them done. I hope you like them. But this shows the God worlds, and we have this in level 1. Because if you don't understand how creation is put together, it leaves you a little, I can't figure out things. So if I can give you somewhat of a picture of what we know and what has been exposed, then you'll have it'll help it'll help you immensely to grow, to not get trapped in ideas like this. And so this is the new God Worlds chart I made. Isn't that beautiful? So I don't know how much, I'm trying to get the printer to make them as cheap as possible so we don't have to sell them for too much, just so you have a nice chart to look at, the God Worlds. But let me show you, isn't that beautiful? And each one of these are different levels, different realms. This is the physical world and all its constellations, all its galaxies, how big that is. Well, the astral world, the next world up, is even bigger. They get bigger and bigger. They say the mental worlds are so huge, they are statues as tall as the sky. It's amazing. You know, sometimes when you're out of body, you don't know where you are. But this is beautiful, isn't it? And I think they're probably going to be $5 or something like that. I don't know yet. You know, I'm trying to get a cost of what the printer charges for that. But I think they really neat. It gives you an idea, because consciousness is everywhere. Everything is made of it. Life bores out of that, like a woman gives birth. And it gives birth. And these are states of consciousness. In other words, these are pieces of consciousness. Same thing as a shattered mirror, Philip. You take a huge mirror called the worlds and you drop it, or called God, and you drop it, and you have all these little pieces. They're all part of the mirror. They all reflect the same thing, but they're pieces instead of one. That's exactly the difference between consciousness and states of consciousness, or non-creation, in other words, the worlds of God consciousness, or consciousness and creation. It's that simple. One is infinite, one is finite. One is formless, one is formed. And the formed is simply the formless understanding itself and playing with itself. Just think about this. If you're the only thing exists, what would you do? If you're the only thing exists, what would you do? You'd start playing. I think there was a show on TV where everybody was killed in the world but this one guy. What would you do? You'd blow up this car, you'd play this, yeah. And that's what's going on everywhere. Little toy soldiers fighting and everything else. You know, meditation one time I said, why? I said, just wanted to see what it was like. Interesting. You know, interesting. Hard to say, but it's enough to say that this is consciousness, pure consciousness. And when it hits creation, it then individualizes and separates. And that way we see Philip over there, and we see Shirley over there, and we see Brenda over there. In consciousness, we're all one. It's hard to say when you're it just all merges and becomes one. Hard to explain that. But Philip, I'm glad you had this. Is a good question. You guys are asking some spiritual stuff. That's my favorite side. But absolutely, the brain is just a physical instrument of cells and electricity. It's a hard drive, but the consciousness that is perceiving and all that is at a higher level. The mind picks up and the perceptions of this, categorizes it, and puts it all in memory, right? Well, where is the memory in creation? Is it in the brain? No, there's a whole world called the causal world where all memory is stored. And that memory part of your mind can be viewed, and it's called the Akashic records. And many psychics can read those, and they can look at your Akashic records and see all your lifetimes. If you're working with a spiritual being, ask them to show you your Akashic records. Most of them will show them to you. They showed me mine when I first started, and it was like, amazing. It's like little film clips. Amazing. Amazing stuff. So, again, answering your question, consciousness has nothing to do with physical cells and atoms put together at all. They are part of or born out of consciousness. So consciousness is the cause and creation is the effect. Good question, Philip. I like that. Helps me to talk with you guys more spiritually about things. So it's a really good question. And this is Melissa. Hi, Melissa, honey. Hi, Doc. You're well. Love you, honey. I was wondering if you could please have type 1 diabetes testimonials on your channel and then telling their story. I only know of Marcie, and that would give me a lot. You know what? Ask Marcie. She's had a couple of them come clear here recently, so ask her more about those. You know, someday we will. There's Marcie right there. Well, someday we'll have somebody come in here and go through all our files. I mean, you're talking, we have so many file cabinets in here and so many of these cases that just, you know, they get lost to us. no offense, but we're so busy that we do one case and we got other cases right behind them, and we're so, it's like Attila just cleaned up a congestive heart failure case, and this guy's out doing really well, and those are cases that are not difficult to do, and he did really well with that case because he had a client that would listen to him, and of course Attila knows exactly what creates congestive heart failure, and he cleaned him right up. And his work, of course, still got some issues in cleaning him right up. And that's only been, a couple months at the most. So you have to understand that we're so busy, we just go on one thing after another. And then, of course, the FDA kind of got us. But Marcie's got some more type 1s for you. And someday we'll have someone come in here and go through all our files. Because I'd really like to do that. I did that once when I went to Portugal. They have symposiums, and I set up some case studies for them. So give them some ideas. I was just in the heat of it back then. I just, you grow a lot through the years. That's all I got to say. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm a type 1 diabetic because 100% fruit, mono fruits with apples. Now notice your difference even with vegetables, and this is important to understand because the whole concept of sugar metabolism, this whole 9 yards, is not well understood. And then, of course, remember this, honey, there's neurological type 1s. You've got two. You got the beta cell, islands of Langerhans weaknesses. That would be the lymph that created that originally and whoever. But you also have the neurological side of this. That would be the autonomic and or the central. So this is why when you got a type 1, we go after all these. Of course, we clean up the gut to pull that pancreas clean, and we enhance the pancreatic cells functions. We get into the endos and up into the brain, of course, into the central and the autonomic, and we just make everything well and healthy. But notice how it's keeping you to fruits. Because if you don't, notice what happens to your blood sugars. And this is type 1. Hi, I was just talking about type 1 for you. This lady says, I was wondering if you would please have type 1 diabetes testimonials on your channel and then telling their story. So we need to do that. I know you had one just come. I only know Marcie, and that would give me a lot of motivation. I'm a type 1 diabetic who is 100% fruits, mono fruits, and apples. And I was just talking about how that, when you come off of that, just how that checks your blood sugar. I remember yesterday you weren't doing too good with blood sugar. How low were you?
It was dropping. I was only in the 60s, but I had dropped pretty quick.
Did you?
So
yeah,
I just needed a couple minutes to come out of that.
It's winter and snow here. Oh, snow in Sweden. So it's challenging. No kidding. I feel sorry for her.
I just talked to a young man yesterday who's type 1 diabetic.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll
get in there and get going on it.
He said he's tried everything.
Really?
Everything, and nothing's worked, and this is the last.
Well, you got to remember, guys, when you have genetic weaknesses in cells, if this is the case and not a neurological weakness, and even if it was, you have to allow times for the consciousness of the cell to change. So don't get too upset. Type 1 is that's more steeped in genetics than type 2, so you really have to give time to change the consciousness of cells. That's all it is. That's a big difference to me between type 1 and 2. One's metabolism, of course, and one's insulin, but still, it's still a much more genetic issue when type 1's by far.
And I still firmly believe that type 1 has a lot to do with neurological.
I do too, big time. And, of course, there's another little thought here with type 1s is liver. There's been a lot of conversation about the connection between the liver and the beta cells, and it's like, well, we'll think about that. I haven't seen that, but there's connections nobody knows about.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just not that we're ignorant. God is that we're ignorant. It's just that God's got.
I've told people this since I started doing this. By the time somebody has type 1, I believe that you're looking at pancreas, liver, kidney, adrenal, the whole neurological
that whole nest. So you make healthy everything, because it's hard for us even to tell whether, excuse me, whether it's a neurological or not. I mean, we look for nerve rings, but you just never know. And then the pituitary.
Sometimes those nerve rings can be. I'm trying to get it so that my neck's not cut off here. No, but sometimes those nerve rings don't even show up. They don't even show up right away.
That's true.
I've had people that they're so lymphatically challenged and backed up that it's so thick that until they start doing cleaning, then once they start removing some of that lymph from the eye, then you start seeing it.
Yeah. Yeah, so honey, we'll work on that for sure. We'll keep you all posted with that. You're going to be one of the recommendations here yourself because it sounds like you're doing really, really well. Don't forget the adrenal glands connection to that. I would say brain and nerve number 2, connecting link. I do upper circulation with that. I would do pancreatic, but I would maybe go back and forth between pancreas, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, liver, gallbladder. Use the capsules and really go after those tissues to inspire function. At the same time, you're cleaning interstitially, you're moving the lymph, you're removing inflammation, any suppressive action that would cause, all those sort of things.
Yep.
She says, and do you have any water filter recommendations? You know, I use RO at home. There used to be a lot of filters out there. I don't even know.
I'm looking at getting a distiller.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yep.
And just setting it outside in the sun. If people want to talk about, you know, the whole remineral, you know, however.
And thank you. Oh, thank you so much, sweetie. I'm sorry, Melissa. We'll do everything we can to get that stuff up. Now I feel more comfortable putting up some testimonials. But
I'd be curious to know how long she sugar loaded or if she's still sugar loading.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see that.
Yeah.
You know what she means? Is she means that there's a certain time where you're going to have fat breakdown. You're going to have glucose being formed by glycogen breakdown and stuff like that, and that's what you're talking about, glucose loading. Once that reaches a certain...
Well, even cleansing the liver. Everybody talks about how the liver is a cleanser, and that's great, but the liver is still a cell.
Exactly.
It still sets out the trash, and it needs to be cleaned.
Well, where does it clean to? See, I think the mistake is that in the past, people have considered the liver is a detoxifying organ. It's a chemical transportation factory. It transmutates chemistry from one to another all the time. It has no way to eliminate externally. Your eliminative organs are your eliminative organs. Those are the ones you want working because they eliminate what's inside to the outside. So those are the ones you want to focus on, is your ability to eliminate. You can change your consumption. That's as easy as going, you know what, I love myself a little more, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to take care of myself. That's what that means. So you can take care of that. Now you got to focus on elimination. And because our chemistry ingestion has been damaging our eliminative organs, now we have eliminative organ problems.
I talked to a lady yesterday, and I told her, I said, let's look at I call it the 5 ways of eliminating. The BULLS. B-U-L-L-S. Bowels, urinary, kidney, your lymph, your lungs, and your skin.
That is cool. BULLS. I love that.
She was down in every one of them. And she has been raw for 17 years.
What?
Couldn't figure out why. And yet she's down in all 5 of those areas.
Isn't that amazing? See, so you remember when your lymphatic starts in your mother. When you're in your mother, you're hooked to her lymph, her blood. You're using your mother's nutrition. And so if your mother isn't filtering her lymph system, guess who else isn't? The baby. And this is why we're seeing cancer cells in babies born, tumors in babies born, because you realize mama's got the problem, now baby's got the problem. So this is real serious stuff. And thank God for all you mothers that are letting your young ones listen to us and teaching them how to get well, because we're in a crazy world, and those of you that do this will be the survivals of the future.
Everything you put in your mouth is a building material. You're either going to use top grade lumber or you're going to be using dry rot. You decide what you want to live in.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, honey.
So,
you want to get a chair, you can.
No, I actually have another client. I'm going to go. I come in to talk to you about something, but I'll do that in a little while.
Okay. All right. Good.
See ya. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Wait a minute. I'm still here. She's a good soul. She's kicking butt, to tell you the truth. She's got so many cases that's winning the day. You know, there's not anyone that can't win the day here. I want you to know this. There's nothing that's incurable. You might be working hard on your case. You might be locked in some past life experiences or karma that you have to work off. You could have some deep emotional things that need to come out yet. Yeah, there are people that hold these things deep within themselves. So going back to, not before Phil's question, going back to the brain and consciousness, you just have to pull back. and start loving yourself and appreciating yourself for that part of you that's infinite. That part of you that is looking out those eyes of yours. The bodies, they all are corrupt in the sense that creation is dualistic. To have form, for the formless to create form, you have to have two forces. Not like Star Wars where you trust the Force, Luke. The question would be then, which one, Master? Because there's two forces at play in creation. This is why you have, the religions have God and the devil. They're looking only at creation. They don't understand what creates creation. So that's what makes religions a little bit restrictive to your growth, because they're looking like medical doctors at the effect. And it is the cause. And that's why it was a very good question. It doesn't, no, that was Phil. Very good question. Because it helps you to tie into what consciousness is as opposed to form. And once you get that and you realize that, then you have that understanding, the difference between the Godhead, that which is the creator, whatever word you want to use, that means the divine, that which creates all things. Because there's no way you can look at creation and think that it just is like a Hawkins thing, that it just bore out of atomic movements. No way you have a conscious driver. And if he would go on Raw and pull him out of that chair, he would then start going, oh, I see God in everything. Hi, Dr. Morse. I have been having bad sleeping problems for a while now. Almost every night I start freezing at 9 or 10 p.m. and it's really hard for me to get warm. Wow, this problem is contributing to insomnia along with stress, anxiety. Lately it's been happening about every other night. I think because I'm on break from school, on these nights I end up falling asleep around 2 a.m. That's about what time I go to bed, about 2. I don't rarely go to bed before that. I just want to sleep and it's not really working and it's really frustrating. What do you think about this? Snap a picture of your eyes, my friend. And I think if you go back to some videos, up on where that top transverse colon is above the pupil, and about a 1/4 inch out for the stomach area, you've got that transverse colon going across the top of the pupils. Take a look at that and what that looks like, because up off of that runs the pituitary gland. Get an iris chart. You see the pituitary gland and you see the pineal gland. To fix this sort of thing, I would definitely get into upper circ and brain and nerve. You're in school anyway, right? You want to excel? Let me tell you. Remember we talked about the gambler and other people that take tests, that take our brain and nerve and upper circulation, pump it before a test? Absolutely. There's a big reason why, and you'll see why if you play with this. So, excuse me. We're all, matter of fact, it's a beautiful thing. Our whole staff is into health now. Really working on it this year. You know, that's pretty good, because when you have a company, we have like 7 employees now. You know, they're all not raw foodists. You can't go out and just say, we're only hiring raw foodists. Come in wherever you are. That doesn't happen. That's unrealistic thinking. So we have a lot of different levels in consciousness and a lot of different levels in size and everything else over there. And so they're all wanting to get healthy and work on that. It's exciting, isn't it? So there's a lot of people into that this year. Matter of fact, I saw it on the news a lot, so it's like, this is a good year to really bring it in. Now, when you're going after your health, remember attitude, attitude, attitude. Separate yourself from your bodies. Don't let your bodies pull you down into hell and be unhappy and hurt and pain. You're already that way. Try to keep backing away from that, even though it's very hard, because your nervous system is pulling you into itself. That's why when under pain and distress, it's hard to have a good meditation. It's hard to be happy, these sort of things. So sometimes you have to fix the pain so you can have a much greater ability to be happy and awake and things like that. Pain closes you down, of course, and I hate that. I hate to see people suffering. But let's go back to this. You know, we got all these clocks in us. But I'd go upper circ, brain and nerve. I'd go stomach and bowel, get on that 14-week protocol or whatever. If you want to get some eyes on me, write you one, okay, however you want to do that. It's up to you. But if it was me, and this is disturbing like this, I would hit the pineal glandular. Pineal glandular, we got a new one they made for us, 50 milligrams, and I would do 1 to 2 hours before sleep. 1 to 2 caps, 1 to 2 hours before sleep, and it'll help you to sleep a lot better. At the same time, I'm going up in there. I'm going to move blood aggressively in the head. I'm going to start electrifying and turning on, because the healthier things are, believe this or not, the less hyper they are. The healthier your nervous system is, the more at peace you are. The more irritated your nervous system is, the more you're jumpy, your mind's jumpy, your thoughts are jumpy, your emotions are jumpy. So it's the opposite. The healthier, the stronger, the more at peace. And it's cool to see that. It's the acids that irritate and facilitate all the mental mirandings. You know, look at the difference between a baby raised on raw foods and a baby raised on dairy products and stuff. There's such a huge difference in their consonants and the way they carry themselves and the way they're observing a life here. Just a huge difference. And so look at that applied to yourself. That's why it's hard to be a raw foodist and not be spiritualizing yourself, because it just comes with the mix. You're increasing energy. Well, energy is what in physics? Quantum physics has made a statement that all life is energy, right? Just manifested frequencies of electromagnetic energy, right? And because of duality, we have magnetism. Pull that back, energy back, and we find intelligence. So quantum physics, they made a statement that says all energy has intelligence. Well, of course. So what's our next step from intelligence? The word is consciousness. So consciousness, intelligence, awareness. Those are 3 words that mean the same thing, basically. It means a greater ability to be awake and aware of more things simultaneously. So I would do that. I'd get my kidneys. I'd start pulling my GI tract, get the GI broom, stomach about, start cleaning up this, because there's going to be a connecting link between your restlessness and your GI tract. So clean all that up, my friend, and you'll be cooking. But if you need to use the pineal formula temporarily while you're getting up in there, I would, because you could have other factors affecting the thyroid like that. You could have the pituitary down with it. Generally, if the pineal's down, the pituitary's down. So on your journey, I would definitely have endocrine gland, adrenal, and if you have low blood pressure, add licorice root with the adrenals. And these 2 formulas are good. Endocrine glands, they cover all of them, and then the adrenals, they're going to go more aggressive to the adrenals, and of course, if you're low blood pressure, licorice root is your blessing. If you have high blood pressure, you don't use licorice root. Licorice root is the one herb that'll raise your blood pressure right on up there. And that's what makes it a blessing in low blood pressure cases. Yeah. This is Carter. Hey, Carter. The name of a grandbaby of mine. Carter. Howdy. Howdy, Carter. Found you on YouTube a year ago. Love you. Love you, Carter. So, inspirational, I'm so glad. Thanks, my friend. I'm turning 20. Oh, woohoo! 20. God, I was just saying that a few years ago. I feel 20, but I don't look 20. Huh. Uh-oh. All right, so I'm turning 20, been having problems for 4 years. So from 16, this young man started with hair loss. See what I'm saying? You young guys are in trouble. Young guys and gals, I'm glad you're turning into us, because I really love you young guys, and you really are our future on this planet. You've got so much to turn around. My generation screwed things up bad. You know, with all the narcissism and all the crap and stuff, and our generations before. It's up to you guys. So, we need to stop this hair loss. So, when you see things taking off hair, breaking things down, because we could consider that if you're losing hair, you're breaking down cells, right? Hair follicles, everything cells, hair cells, everything cells. So you're breaking down cells, all right? So the first thing you want to do is go, okay. Now, everything is chemistry here in the physical world, and in chemistry, there's only 2 sides to it. There's the base side, which is the female healing side. Then there's the acid side, the corrosive, I'm going to tear you down and break you down side. I'm going to hurt you and cause you pain. Which side of chemistry, my friend, do you think is taking off the hair? Because everything's chemistry. You have to go to that. You have to ask that question. I have to tell you. You have to ask that question if you want to start from ground zero. All right? So, acids. No question. Now we get into the fact, where are these acids coming from? First of all, man's diet is predominantly acidic. If you're not a raw foodist, most people are eating acidically. Oh, well, not only are your cells, if you eat alkaline, that's okay. Your cells are constantly, the byproducts of all these cycles from cribs and methylations are acids. And some of these byproducts are not beneficial like they claim. They're byproducts that have to be turned to salts or somehow eliminated out of the human body. Well, we have a whole system that does that, don't we? And that's tied to what? That's the great, great lymphatic system. The system that very few know except you guys, and you guys are winning the day because you're understanding that system more than anyone on the planet. And everybody else is turning away from that system. Can't turn away from the sewer system. Nobody turns away from the sewer system because when it backs up, the knock comes on your door. Woo! Tumors, smell, breakdown, hair loss. So this has been developing in you because every day your cells are constantly producing acids. And at 16 years old, in today's world, your kidneys are lucky if you're filtering. You're lucky if you're filtering. So all these years, it's been accumulating and accumulating. This is why you're seeing so much up in the head areas. Get this out, my friend, because this leads to nothing good. I've said we're going to see a whole world of 40-year-old dementias and Alzheimer cases. It's coming. Guys or gals cannot remember half the stuff now. So there's some serious issues. Upper circuit brain and nerve, man. You're 20 years old, really go up there and build that, clean that, get your bowels cleaned up, get your kidneys filtering, pee in a jar, make sure you're filtering, make sure there's sediment in that urine. Remember this? The old urine chart. Make sure you have a lot of sediment in your urine. Because if you have none, you'll keep losing hair. You have to fix this lymph system of yours. It isn't blood taking it off, but getting more blood aggressively going up there with a good alkaline diet is going to really help regenerate that, and especially brain and nerve added to that. It's going to help perk you up too. If you're in school, boy, you're going to love these two formulas. Because you want to fix this, my friend. I still have hair thinning mainly on left top side of my head. Interesting. So, left kidney. But generally all over. Inflamed scalp and fungus. Yeah, see, inflamed scalp and fungus. See, that's the lymph system. That's not blood. That's the lymph system, and it deals with acids. That's why you get dandruff, too. That dandruff, that's lymph. And you just have to, and if you leave that dandruff on there and not clean your scalp, it'll burn you. You'll start getting red and sores. And if you don't fix that, it can turn into something. I remember she was in her 70s, and I started detoxifying her. And this gnarly looking, it was definitely sewage, popped up on her head, Well, she freaked and went to the dermatologist, and he looked at it and he said, well, I think you have some rare Brazilian type of worm or something up there. It took me about an hour to stop laughing. But it was enough to say that. It was just detox coming out, because when you start detoxing, what happens? Expectoration. That's what detoxification means, is expectoration. In other words, what's in that shouldn't be is going to be coming out. And if your kidneys aren't filtering well and you're detoxifying aggressively, your skin could open up, or your skin could start breaking out all over, like you got worse, or your acne got worse, or psoriasis, or whatever, or you didn't have it before and now you have it. What's going on? Now this is lying underneath waiting. Now you're exposing the truth that's lying under those dark spaces that you don't know. In the joints, the subcutaneous levels of the skin, deep within the scalp. And another problem here again is that scalp is supposed to be cleaned by the glymphatic, isn't it? The glymphatic cleans the scalp. So I don't know. You want to, get everything working, kidneys working and filtering and all this, my friend. And all you guys that are in your teens and 20s and 30s, go after your sewer system. Go after your kidneys, your adrenals, your endocrine glands, your nervous systems, because this is where the genetic pull is. You're seeing babies born with major neurological weaknesses, major GI tract problems, major lymphatic problems with cancers. But doesn't it make sense? Yeah, get the fungus, go on parasite and stuff, but you're going to do that anyway when you go after this. The fungus is just there sucking up the, probably from the adrenal gland weakness, probably the incomplete metabolism of the sugars. Food allergies, yeah, that's all lymph. You get your lymph cleaned up, my friend, you won't have any food allergies. At times, kidney, okay, there we go. Case closed. At time, kidney pain. There you go. I'm telling you guys, kidneys. Those are our little sweethearts. Love them and fix them. Make them healthy. They're your answer to the world of future happiness. And underweight. Okay, so what would you guys take me on the underweight? Knowing he said all this, where would your take be on the underweight? Mine too. Malabsorption. Malabsorption occurs when the lymph system in the wall of your intestines is stagnant. Nothing can absorb through the villi anymore, or well, and make it into the capillaries of both lymph and blood. So you have the malabsorption of lipids too, because remember, when your lymph system's that bad, you can no longer absorb lipids, and that's why when you go on a lipid high diet, you feel better when you're highly inflamed with acids, because lipids are anti-inflammatory. That's why your lymph system is a lipid-based system. So when you're not absorbing your fatty acids out of your foods, that's problematic, isn't it? But this is malabsorption, and you want to fix that, my friend, because that just leads to everything else. You're not even getting the goodies in there. And then you set yourself up for IBS, Crohn's, tumors, polyps, things like that, Was wondering if it could suggest herbs, glandular to buy single and a protocol, because I can't buy your formulas. Well, you know what? Go on the Fab 4 or 5. You can't buy cheaper formulas at these levels. You can't, you can't buy a formula that, if you buy a formula cheaper than ours, it's got to be a 1 to 7 and brewed for 7 days. You wouldn't even want to buy that. I mean, I got our formulas priced as cheap as I could possibly go. That's why we're not a wealthy company. But that's okay with me. But try the Fab 4 or 5, but you do have to go after some things here, man. You have to go after some. And you really need some herbs, upper circ, brain and nerve. You can look at those herbs in those formulas and pick some for yourself if you want. But I would work with that. I don't see a glandular necessary here. Oh, wait a minute. I missed something here, guys. He has dermatitis and psoriasis at times at 16. Yep, you're backed up, my friend. I tell you what. Somehow see what you can do, what you can muscle up, importing whatever herbs you can. You can contact Jennifer here, Jennifer W., and see if there's any money in the fund. People send us $100 now and then. There might be some herbs on the shelf once in a while. We have some herbs building up on the shelf back there that we give. So there's always a way, bro. And you want to get this, Carter, because I'm telling you, nothing good could come out of everything I see here. And you know it. I think listening to these videos is enough to tell you know it. You got psoriasis. This is all major lymph. Well, you'll go bald, and then you'll wonder where you parked your car as you get a little older. And it's like, whoa. So you want to fix this, man. Thanks, Carter. But you want to help yourself here. We'll help you. No question about that. Dr. Morse, please first let me tell you what privilege. Oh, wow. It is that you are answering my question. Oh, well, thank you. I would answer them all, Kim, if I could just get more time. But you know what? Everything's working now. I got to play the carpenter role here. I've got to build a Tilla room, and we're redoing our offices because we're tight in here. And I just got to play the little carpenter role for a few days here. But I'm going to try to get as much of these videos out as I can and get all your questions answered. It's just, apologies. It's been the holidays, and we've had all kinds of, my youngest son's wife left him 3 or 4 days before Christmas, so that's been turmoil. And, it's just been one thing after another. But that's, that's what's out there. You have to be strong within the self. And you can't put all your eggs in someone else, emotionally or any other way, because now your door's open to be ripped. You can give great love when you're whole. When you feel good about yourself, you love yourself, and you understand more of yourself. That's a self-fulfillment. You don't need to have someone for your happiness. You need to have someone for your joy. To play with and have fun. That's why you have someone, not to meet any type of quota or do the religious thing of marriage and all that crap. This is about enjoying creation. You are a free bird. You were born to be an individual and free. If you take on a mate for a while, you do. But in your journey through creation, you will have many, 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 many mates of all types. And you will change forms many, many times. Think about it. Think about this. If you want to become more I don't want to use the word intelligent, but academically intelligent, you have to go to school. And you start out in your basics, and then you build in your understanding. Well, that's just how creation is. Remember we talked about that mirror. Everything's just a shattered piece of the mirror. Well, in creation, everything is a piece of God, but at a different level. And it's that way so we can have grass and plants and flowers, trees, animals. We can have Homo sapiens. Remember, we're just an experiment growing. The form, we're consciousness. The form we're using is continuing to grow. And there has been thought in some of the higher levels of whether the human species needs to be terminated and a new species brought forth at this level. Because you look at the human species. It's a violent species. It's aberrated really bad. That doesn't even understand its own health needs. So the Homo sapiens species is a level of consciousness that needs a lot of help. That's just, again, there's deeper reasons why we're here, but that's one of them. And so understand that in the Homo sapien, got to bring himself up a little bit, out of the bowels of the lower worlds a little bit. And understand itself at higher levels. But all life is kind of doing that right now. Take a look at this. I thought this was really cool. Because now you're seeing more apes walking bipedal, right? There's pictures of apes now standing and walking bipedally. It's like, well, now bears are starting to. They have now pictures of bears walking bipedally. Pretty cool. So who knows what the future's coming. It's just so exciting on one hand and very disrupting on another. But it's just creation. And this is one little movie. There's so many movies. There's a movie in the ant colonies. There's another movie going on in the grass. There's another movie going on in those plants out there. There's another movie going on in the nano levels in this wool here. There's another... There's nowhere life isn't. It's amazing. Simply amazing when you allow yourself to expand and become a part of the all instead of focusing on these narrow little bitty things. But you have to focus on the narrow little bitty things to have experiences, of course. But don't get too locked in there. Compound found in herbs and spices strengthens brain connections. Ooh, this is pretty good. I wanted to show you this one I found here. I don't know what I do with it. University of California. This is the University of California study here. And it says, confirms the real cause of obesity in America. Well, I'll just say that they put that in that context, but really this is just one of the problems. Excess acids stored inside your fat cells. Now, where you have acidosis, what are the two things you have going on? Edema and lipid coagulation. Well, there's three things. Actually, on your test, there's three things. What's the third thing? Calcium. But in this case, you're looking at edema and lipid accumulation because it's about acidosis. So it's interesting that the University of California discovered that fat cells have too much acids in them when they get bigger. Interesting. Interesting, don't you all think? You all know truth. This is all truth. And when you start seeing all these studies are going to come down on you, you're going to go, look at that. Look at that. What is this? Compound found in herbs and spices strengthens brain connections. You know, there's so many cool things out there, guys. We're discovering at certain levels some of the little bitty things that already exist and that are going on. It's funny, we're just discovering that which exists. Man just simply has to get with the realization that he's a tropical species no matter where he lives on the rock, and that he has to eat at least a big part of his meals like that. And if you want to get well, you have to go back and fix your body a little bit, physical body. That'll rebound into fixing the astral or emotional body, and it'll also go in and strengthen the mind and get more mental control. Because if you don't control your mind, it'll control you. And pretty soon you're a rocket without a home. I haven't read this one yet, about this neuroscience research finding the study was part of a PhD dissertation. Look at that. Source, I have to look at this up. Sounds pretty good. Commitment of human, oh my God, untreated, and interesting stuff. Just good stuff. But what word could we use here to suggest what weakens amyloid plaque, right? Matter of fact, we've got going up on our website the cells, the cancer cells, the non-cancer cells. We've got a lot of things going up, and I hope they're getting up there so you can see all these things, and we can direct your attention to that so you can see firsthand that anytime you see a cell that's aberrated, it generally has protein stuck all on it and mucus around it, which is the lymph system dealing with the acidosis of it. So it's just, you see just what's going on. It's the interpretation of what you see that's the problem allopathically and in our scientific community, because they started working at the ass end of the donkey. They started looking at the effects. You can't do that. You know, when biochemistry is calling bases acids, there's a problem here. Oh, I can't hardly read this, and forget me for squinting, but this is really small. Dear Dr. Morse, this is Rita. Hi, honey. I am hoping you can help me. I have ringworm and have had it for over a year. Holy crap. You know what? I get on parasite imaging just to make sure you're going to clean everybody out. Now, you also got to remember this is attached to your lymphatic system. And this is not, ringworm isn't really a worm. So you want all the antifungals, so parasite M and G. I would do parasite G at 4 capsules, let's say 4 times a day. And parasite M, you can get the capsules about the same thing. And what other system would you want to be working on where you find these little babies? Your sewer system. Your lymphatic system. This is where the sewage are, that all this stuff like funguses and worms, not ringworm isn't a worm, but that sort of thing. In your worm community, you have your hooks, your rounds, all these sort of things. I was watching a special ER segment, Life in the ER or something like that, And I like that show. Because I spent a lot of years there, you get to see all these different things coming in, and this was all about parasites, and it was wild. And these ER docs were like freaking out and everything. And it's like, come on, guys, Jesus Christ, that's a part of nature, bro. Get used to the worms, the fungus, the flukes, learn how to deal with them, and learn about culturing mediums. I am a vegan and eat a high raw fruit and veggie diet. Well, that's good. Here's the thing. Now, those are anti-parasitic themselves, to be honest with you. I've seen people go on raw and roundworms pop out of them. But this is ringworm. Very much tied to your lymphatic system. This is why you can't seem to get rid of it. So you really want to get those kidneys. Get those kidneys filtering, go after your lymphatic system when you're going after this parasitic kill. Do some things with it so you're able to eliminate, that which you're killing. Or it becomes, again, part of the sewage that's not going anywhere. I do eat some cooked veggies, beans, potatoes, and 72% chocolate. Also, I have about 2 tablespoons of organic cocoa powder and hot water every day. I don't know how I got this ringworm and why it won't go away. Well, it's more of a fungus type thing, honey. And so you could have got it anywhere. Anywhere. Fruits, veggies. I mean, you get all kinds of worms on fruits and veggies and stuff. That's why I say wash everything with veggie washes. It did go away in 2 spots, but on my ankle and back there are spots that will not go away. Again, you've got to wait. My naturopathic doctor, who I have been seen twice about this, recommended grapefruit seed extract supplements and the external use of colloidal silver. You can use those things, but this is an internal problem. And this is your lymph system. See where it's all over the place? So you got to address your lymphatic system. You can also do parasitic kills. I don't care with that. But you want to address your lymph system as well. Grapeseed extract's okay, but really you want to go into a full-fledged parasitic formulas like M&G and really get into the body, move the lymph, get the kidneys filtering, all that sort of things. And I would get rid of the beans. Now he wants to give me oral anti-fungal pills, but I do not want to take them because of the side effects. Well, I don't know what kind of fungal pills he's giving you. I mean, he's a naturopath. He shouldn't be giving you anything but herbal antifungals. If he's giving you anything outside of herbal antifungals, he's not a true naturopath. I'm sorry. You can't play with pharmaceuticals with antifungals. They all have fatal events tied to them. Remember I talked about Lamisil? And how it's one of a chain of drugs that deals with the antifungals. And they all, including Lamisil, I didn't even know that Lamisil has fatal events tied to them. It's like, oh, shit. What pharmaceuticals don't kill people? It's like, oh, my God. Nobody seems to care. God. Okay. Now, during the past year, I have tried all the natural remedies I have found online. Yeah, but you're trying to treat this. She's tried apple cider vinegar. Nah, it wouldn't have worked anyway. Oregano oil. Yeah, that's pretty strong stuff. But wait a minute. Oregano oil, that's the king of all antifungals, remember? It's a cure-all. Matter of fact, all cancers are fungal, and you just take oregano oil. Oh, give me a break. What else you tried? Tree tea oil, exactly. Epsom salt baths, lavender oil. You tried a lot of things, sweetheart, but you haven't cleaned your lymph system. That's the system you're dealing with. You got to deal with that. Get your adrenals and kidneys up, filtering, and get your lymph system cleaned. Same time, take M&G on the way you're on, you'll get that. I've never had a problem getting rid of it, but you've got to work on your lymph system as well. Please help me get rid of the fungus. Be happy to. But Rita, get in your lymph system more. And you'll take care of that one. Kim, did I finish you up? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I didn't finish Kim up here, guys. My question is in regard, this is going back to Kim. I hope I took care of you, Rita. Thank you. I kind of got out of place here. My question is in regards to tinitis. My husband suffers from it. He believes it started when he was a young child and a gun went off very close to his ear. Not sure what side, but he has it in both ears. Yeah, this is a pressure, in my opinion. You feel tendinitis, the more acidic you are, the more pressure you have building up in your body, and particularly in your head area. So as you begin to relieve that pressure, now, there's also the sound current, or what we call the sound current. Some people call it spirit. The Ekas call it the ek, the prana, the life force. That makes music or sounds as it moves. All movement of energy makes music or sound. That's why any spiritual teaching worth its weight is going to talk about the light and sound of God. Because there's the twin aspects, not just the light of God, but the light and sound of God, because there's very much music tied to this. Music, color, sound. Excuse me. Probably from that little pizza. I told you my son was kind of going through it, so everybody wanted to get a little pizza Friday, so I got a little vegetarian, little bitty thing. I had 2 pieces, thin crust, little as I could. Smelled so good. I was in bed all day Saturday. Didn't feel good Sunday either. I'm just now getting myself back from freaking 2 little pieces. But I knew better, Sometimes you just want to cheat. You just want to do something, but your body goes, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean it. So, you want to get the kidneys There's a couple things. Also, the weaker the myelin sheaths, you'll start singing. So you want to go into the kidneys and get them filtering. At the same time, to get them filtering, you have to get the adrenal glands up with them. They sit right on top, so your kidney and adrenals are twins. Always use those as twins. I didn't have enough space in my kidney formula to add enough adrenal power, so they have to be two formulas because I'm looking for the power. At the same time, I take brain and nerve and upper circulation. Right? That's going to strengthen neurons, strengthen myelin sheaths. Enhancing the adrenal glands is going to enhance your neurotransmitters, which is also going to strengthen the myelin sheaths. So you got this going on. At the same time, you're going to clean up the bowels and get the lymph moving out of the head to relieve any pressure that's in there. If there's any glaucomic pressure, anything like that, it'll help relieve that. Anything like that, because all this also can lead to MACDs, can lead to wrinkled retinas, all kinds of stuff like that. Of course, he was told that there is no cure. I think you're the only person who can help him. Yeah, you just get that out of you there. Do you think this can be cured? Oh, absolutely. You know, I have a lot of people coming here with tendinitis. Huh? If so, can you outline a protocol for me? Again, going back, we've got the 7-week protocol. Take a look at what that is. Or we've got an aberrated one where you have the basic Fab 4 or 5. If this is an older person, I'd go a little aggressive. Because you could be concerned about cholesterol plaquing and things like this, where you're getting occlusions, therefore your resistance is up. You know, it's just a matter of electricity to see how that works. Now just think of it as electrical currents and resistance and that sort of thing. You can look at it in that way. Thank you so very much. You are a rare and oh, thanks. I love you too, Kim. Thank you much. But that's what I'd be thinking about. And we've never had a problem in doing that, pulling tendinitis out of people. Never, 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 never. Oh, this is Georgette. Hey, Georgette. Bodycleansing@me.com. I love that. You guys, I'm proud of you. You all are so sweet. You all are done such a great job at helping yourselves and helping others. I know some of you are still suffering. Hang in there. You have our love, our support. Nothing's perfect down here in that way. You know, everybody has a different journey. Some takes longer, some takes shorter, but I'm proud of all of you guys. You've done so well. You're helping so many people. Just proud of you. Would you please speak to us about the B2 breast implant illness? Oh, wow. Is that what they call that? BII? Bi? Movement that's taking place right now, and microtoxins as they relate to this subject. I'm a little unaware of that movement right now, to be honest with you. I haven't heard this. The first time I've heard that there's some kind of thinking process and related to that. I am definitely not, I have never been for a woman augmenting herself for sexual reasons or any other reason like that. I'm looking at the Kardashians going, what the hell are you girls thinking? You know, adding stuff in your butts and stuff like this. I mean, come on, man. Anytime you add a foreign object into the human body, you always are going to have some level of resistance. Now, there is some harmony going on, no question with that, and metals and everything else. And, you know, everybody's doing the best to support tissue that's been decaying because of acidosis and stuff. But in reality, anything that's foreign in there can set up low-level inflammation. And does. And so you always have certain degrees of deteriorations. You know, the pockets end up being holes. This male consciousness of big boobs and everything is ridiculous. And I don't think you ladies should have that either. I think you should love your bodies the way they are. If you're smaller endowed, fix your adrenal glands and pituitary, and they will increase. You know, fix your weaknesses. But don't make them a big deal because, my God. But my opinion is I don't like breast implants. I think they should be removed and tissue regenerated here. If one is dealing with that, I think normal saline. There's all the pros and cons of normal saline. I watch the botch guys just because their quality of surgery is really well. But I'm just not for foreign objects implanted in the body. Now, with that said, I've got some implants in my mouth so I can have teeth. So I don't know what to say. I feel sorry for all the ladies that have them that are having problems with them. I remember when we had all the problems where they were breaking. And I had client after client with silicone all in their chest. They're making ladies extremely sick. I don't know how many deaths came out of that, but I just say for yourselves, enjoy your bodies the way you are. Make them healthy, enjoy yourselves, and don't get involved in putting foreign things in your body. Love yourself the way you are. And if you have someone that doesn't love you the way you are, might not be a relationship that's a real good one, you know, because you want someone to love you just for the way you are, you know. So I don't know what to say about that. Microtoxins, oh, they're all over the place. I mean, you got microtoxins, nanotoxins. I mean, how micro do you want to go? And then the other way. So, and of course, you also have a foreign chemistry in the body that's foreign to the lymph and the blood. So you always have that set up, and I don't know what to say about it. Say, you know, if you're a lady that's had that, you got to detoxify your body. There's just no question about it. I'm not in favor of breast implants. The only way, and that is if you've had radical mastectomies and the emotionally component there would to build something, then yeah, maybe so, you know, go some saline and things. But the healthier you are, you can invade tissue and maybe add some saline pouches and be okay. But always keeping that diet anti-inflammatory, that'll keep everything healthy, you know, that sort of thing. If you want to keep an implant, you got to make your body healthy. That's all I can say about it. And that'll keep everything good, and I don't know what else to say about that one. I'll have to keep my eyes and ears open and see what's being said about that. But once you get the overview of consciousness and you understand the holistic needs and the needs of the body and chemistry and how the lymph system works and everything, you'll see these things and judge them by a higher awareness of your own. And that way you can see through a lot of what's going on out there, or why things aren't going on out there the way they are. Oh, this is Jasmine, spelled totally different. That's pretty wild. Jasmyne. I'm probably misspelling it badly, mispronouncing it, I mean. Dear Dr. Morse, your love of this matter is greatly appreciated. Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you, Big. Thank you. As we are learning how to get to the heart of the matter. Thank you, because this is what we have to do, is we have to get to the cause of these things. Quit looking at the effects and start pulling back into chemistry and looking a little more simplistic. Out of that bears the complexity. You know, creation is complex, extremely, but it comes out of simplicity. So when we turn to simplicity, then the complex doesn't become so complex. But you can't find truth from the complex, because you're looking at the parts. You must always look from the whole, and then the parts make themselves self-evident. Yep. It's like school. Teachers, good teachers, is going to draw you a picture, like we do here. And of what they want to teach, people learn. This is why Chinese is in pictures. You learn better, and you can understand more. But you have to have a teacher that understands to be able to teach that way. Teachers that don't understand the totality of what they're teaching can't teach that way. Someone that understands the wholeness of everything can teach that way because they see it all. They see the interconnections and how it all fits. These are more spiritual teachers, of course. Good teacher wants to make everything fun for you, whether it's history, whether it's math, or whether it's whatever, and an understanding of how it all relates to the whole, and that's not being done. Everything's taught in parts academically. So when you graduate from medical school or naturopathic school, you're out there going, you were taught in pieces. So I teach from the whole, and it's better understood that way. Now, I had someone from either Southwest or Basture come one time, called me up, said, I need some clinicals. I said, well, come on. So somebody came in with some type of cancer or something, and when they were kind of looking there, and I asked the young man, I said, how would you take care of this problem? Oh, my God. Went into B vitamins, went into all kinds of stuff. I'm looking at him, and I said, you know, my friend, you'll never make a healer if you don't learn the truth about things. And he just spent all the money and graduated, I think it was from Basture or something. Researchers have labeled an endogenous regulation system, the endocannabinoid system, and point to the application of CBD oil from industrial hemp to augment cannabinoid dysregulation in the body. Please shed some light on what it means to approach the understanding here without the use of this specific plant chemical supplement. You know, everybody's looking for lipids to simplify this. Everybody's looking for lipids that are anti-inflammatory. Looking for the better lipids that could have maybe a kick to the cells. But lipids are basically anti-inflammatory. I don't care what lipids you're taking. But people like the cannabis oil type factors. But to tell you the truth, you can oil yourself to death. You have to be careful with oils as well. You know, you're looking for fatty acids, but you have to have good absorption and everything else to have a good anti-inflammatory system. Your anti-inflammatory system is your lymph system. It's the one that gets rid of the acids and helps to neutralize the acids. This is the oil-based system of the body. So one doesn't need the cannabis oils and things like this to do this. It's just the in thing now. But Laetrile is another type of oil, B17. But it's another anti-inflammatory. And it's just anti-inflammatories help the response, the inflammation response, in that it makes things feel a little better. It would be no different than if you had arthritis in your wrist and you sprayed WD-40 on your wrist. Same concept. A lubricant, and oils are lubricants. Your lymph system is not just a lymphatic system. It's a lubricating system. It's synovial fluid, eye fluid. Everywhere you have fluids, lipids are a huge part of that fluid for lubrication and anti-inflammatory purpose to keep the joints healthier longer. If you didn't have that, acids would destroy you many times faster. Many times faster. So this is why this is all a lipid-based system. But a lot of people want to take the cannabis oils, and a lot of people swear by them and things like that. But you really have to draw back and fix the problem, not treat the problem with oils and stuff like that. That's why these ketogenic diets help people to certain degrees in terms of symptomology, but it doesn't give you a sense of wellness and health and bring your cells into that state and fix the kidneys, fix the adrenals. None of those diets do those things. By the way, it made me think of Dr. Oz. What's wrong with this guy? First, he takes 12 people to a zoo and gets right into the raw. And this is pretty much the same with a lot of people. They touch the truth and then they back away from it. And that's what I see Dr. Oz. He keeps walking up to the truth and backing up and walking up to the truth. So he's got a new diet plan. He just released, what was it, yesterday? New diet plan. So basically eat a fairly healthy diet. No definition of that. Pretty much what you want, but try to be a little healthier. But one day cheat. One day just eat anything you want. That's his new diet plan. It's like something's gotten to him. Maybe too much TV. I mean, what? He doesn't. I saw him a segment several weeks ago where he had all raw foods around him. He looked like he'd been doing some raw foods because you could tell the difference when you are and when you're not. And I'm looking at him and I'm going, what happened to that? So that's the problem. It's a problem we all face in little bitty dosages. Because again, we've been conditioned so much. They say after age 5, you're pretty much set with your conditioning. So it's tough. It's tough. But some people have a real tough time, and you just have to back away from that. That's the only thing I can help you with this, honey, unless you were looking for more stuff on that. I really don't have too much to say on that. I know there's a lot of people suffering, and if something that's not too bad for you can help you in that way. But again, there's all these other factors. There's a little bit of a neurological suppression to this. I've also said that marijuana is a little bit of a neurotoxin. So you have to be careful with some of these type of things. They're okay. They're good to relax as long as you get high quality plants and stuff. But again, just a good raw food diet brings peace and love and joy and consciousness to your world. You don't need to have smoking down on a plant or anything to get that, But, I don't have anything against it. It's just that it's acid forming. All things are acid forming. Depends how you ingest it. But I don't. And this is from Ashley. Hi, Ashley. I have a granddaughter. Well, Ashley. Do you remember I talked about the, you ought to see the great-grandbaby now. My God, how's this kid growing so fast? I mean, got a real bad ear infection. She'd been breastfeeding, but she's all raw, and then pounded superfood blend, and then the milk still congested him. We had to pull him off of the milk at 4 months old. Now he's sucking down and growing even faster. It's like, whoa! Incredible stuff. Let me see here. I was in really rough shape about 4 years ago with tachycardia, stomach pain, hair loss. Now, just for your sake, that tachycardia, a lot of times you go to the thyroid, but you had stomach. Remember we said the stomach is where the autonomic nerve brain is, and that controls heart, breathing. Hard to take a deep breath when you're involved with this weakness here. Heart can take off with tachycardia or bradycardia, which is real slow. But thyroid controls that too. But again, that central autonomic brain in the solar plexus here, when that's down, you're going to have stomach problems, acid problems, and of course neurological problems. Now, started fruit fasting and heal all tea with a lot of mucus being removed. That is the one thing you always want to see in detoxification, and that's mucus. The elimination of mucus, because that's the lymph system. It's a mucus or a lipid. Mucus is lipids, lipid-based system. Acid, anti-inflammatory, basically. However, you cross a certain line and lipids become inflammatory. Ketosis, it's another form of acidosis. So you have to be careful with the concentration of anything. Life is simple and it's exterior. The ingestion of food is supposed to be simplistic, not difficult. Never at this level that man's at now. And the refinement of his foods shouldn't be. I mean, you're refining a food that you should just pick and eat. So these are some of the problems that man has lost his health over. And he just has to go back and start eating his food Spain. So let's see what's going on here. Now, let me see. Started fruit fasting and heal all tea with a lot of mucus coming out. Now it's 3 years with a lot of great progress. Yeah, baby. At 3 years, though, you ought to be way down the line. A couple issues is coughing little green. A couple issues is coughing little green stones and some upper jaundice. You're coughing up a little green gallstones? That's interesting. That's real interesting. Because I take it to be gallstones. Those are the only emerald type stones. Gallstones are like emerald with yellow. Yellow's the cholesterol. The green is the bile. Greenish, reddish. And you're coughing up these green stones. Wow. And you got some jaundice with that. All right. So I've got a formula from Standard Process called Phosphate Liquid. Supposed to help remove stones. Seems to do a fairly good job, but our liver gallbladder formula, you want to get into there, take that, start detoxifying a little deeper in there and clean up your liver. A matter of fact, you've been doing raw pretty good. Why don't you just do a liver gallbladder flush? You know, look in your eyes and see if you have any weaknesses in the liver, but do a liver gallbladder flush. That's what I'd be doing right now. And pop these stones out the other way, the butt end instead of the front end. I would. Hair loss improved, but not as fast as certain areas growing out. Wow. Well, you're getting it, though. It sounds like you're really kicking butt here, but it sounds like you really need to get into that liver and GI tract, clean that up. That'll really make a big deal for you. That'll help the hair up here, so that's good. A little apprehensive about a deeper fast, the best fruit, and how long to do it. Well, I wouldn't be too apprehensive because really you're eating food, and you're always safe with that pretty much. Put yourself on a fruit and berry fast. You know, just do fruits and berries. Make yourself a big bowl, huge bowl of fruit in the morning. Keep it covered in the refrigerator. And throughout the day, just get you a bowl of fruit and eat all the time on that. It's always best to cut your fruit now and eat it. It saves oxidation and everything. But to tell you the truth, you're going to cut up a big bowl of fruit in the refrigerator. I like it when I'm hungry. I go dip up me a big bowl of fruit, and I like to eat on the fruit when I want to. I don't like to sit up there and cut all the fruit up when I'm hungry. Time management, a little bit of a problem for me in that way. But a big bowl of fruit, throw some bananas in there if you want. That'll bring a little balance to the fruit kingdom. And do a liver gallbladder flush. I would. That's for sure. Clean that out. All right, now I've got to go here. I'm going to be back. I want to finish up these, and I've got another pile over here I want to finish up and try to get us caught up here in the first of the year. If I can get us caught up in the first of the year, I wonder why it looks so red. Look at this. It looks red here, but this is not. It's not red. It's interesting. This is Carolina, spelled with a K. Interesting. Running out of options. What's going on here, man? Hi, I'm Carolina. I'm 17 years young, and I have been diagnosed with closed-angle glaucoma at 4. Are you serious? Honey, at 14, you were diagnosed with closed-angle glaucoma? Since then, I've been taking 4 cortisone eye drops twice daily. Oh, my God. No, honey. No. Eye drops won't work. This is no, and these are just anti-inflammatory, hoping to keep the pressure down. And offered implant surgery. Oh, God, sweetheart. Okay, listen. You're 17 years young. You got to go after this, all right? Get yourself, I don't care where you live. If you're in the cold, wrap up. Get yourself on a fruit, berry, and melon diet, okay? Get into your kidneys and your adrenal glands with herbs. Get your parents, get them to listen to this, because this is the only way you're going to survive this. And you don't want to get into surgeries and everything else, because these guys don't know what they're doing. They don't even know what causes this. And this has nothing to do with your blood system. This is your lymphatic system. And this is tied to your kidneys and adrenal glands. You're not feeling. Go pee in a jar. $100. Go pee in a jar. $100. Your urine is clear. Okay, so you really want to get this and get on the bowels, clean up the bowels as well. You want to do everything that associates with pressure up here. Hot and cold applications to the head, particularly cold back on the cerebellum. Work on these neurolymphatic points, which turns on the lymph system and drains the head area. Because this is acid pressure. Nothing good comes from acid pressure. Now, you're 17, you can regenerate any tissue that's been damaged, but they have you on cortisone drops. You got to really hit the adrenals. I would take an adrenal, you're 17, I'd probably take an adrenal 200 granular for about a month just to make up for what these cortisol drops are doing to you. That's not a good way to go after this. You have to deal with the system that's creating this, and that isn't your blood system. This is your lymphatic system that's creating this. Very common stuff. And you've been fighting this 14. You want to be careful, because they can damage your eyes real bad. Not just the glaucoma, not just the acid pressure, but them monkeying with you. Because you can't go in with surgery and clean up a lymph system. Can't do that. I'm aware of the long-term side effects of taking these medications and how they inhibit my body's detoxification. And I want to know what I can do to possibly better my condition. Big time. Eye wash, all right? Eye wash drops, all right? We got eye cups if you can't find them at pharmacies, little eye cups here, but get you the eye wash. The eye wash, get you about 12 drops, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, in a cup of skin temperature water. And wash your eyes out 2 or 3 times a day. Don't wake up full of mucus and everything. That can happen. Take it internally, a dropper full 3 times a day. Now, at the same time, you're going after your detox, that you know, your adrenals, your kidneys, and your bowels. Start working on elimination, because when you see pressures, that's a sign of blockages. When you have blockages, you have to figure out which system is a blockage. Well, there's only 2 to pick from. How about that one? There's only 2 to pick from. You have a vascular, a blood blockage, or you have a lymph blockage. A blood blockage? Nah, you know that one. For sure, you know that one. Dead eye. But a lymph blockage, pressure, pain, all the things associated with that. So, you see how easy this is to determine what's going on here? So, you're young. You know immediately you have kidney and adrenal genetics. Immediately. If you find me someone that's born with strong kidneys and adrenals, I don't know. I'll eat another piece of pizza. No, I'm going to probably end up in the hospital with it. And I want to know what I can possibly... So, use the eye washes. Get the detox going, get on your fruits, your berries, your melons, I don't care where you live, and start getting the elimination organs up and start eliminating. Get your bowels cleaned up, get your absorption up, get all this up, honey, and get your health back. I've been vegan for a full year and I've had a healthy BMI, but seeking optimal health. You're down the road, honey. You want to get a little more strict because this is a serious problem. Get the eye washer to start pulling all this mucus out. It'll start relieving some of this pressure and stuff. It'll help pull some acids out. This is an internal problem. You want to deal with it internally. Topically, will definitely help you a lot. And another way you want to help that, candle your ears. Do about 3 or 4 candles per ear. Get some of that pressure out of there while you're doing the eye washes, while you're doing the neurolymphatics, while you're doing the hot and cold compresses, while you're after your kidneys. See what I'm saying? You're doing it all. All the boys are going after you at once. That's how you win the day. And you will win the day. I love you guys so much. You guys have done so well. Thank you for all the lovely, there's got so many Christmas cards and stuff. I love each and every one. I've read every one of them, hugged every one of them. So I love you all. Hope you had a happy holidays no matter where you are in the world. And this is a good year for people, you know. It's a good year to get your health back because it's going to be good on one side, not so good on another side. But it's all for the good because it's all the way creation has to right itself. Spinning so much, you know, when you spin like creation does, you get out of balance. All right, love you all and have fun out-of-body traveling though. Remember, there's out-of-body traveling and then there's just conscious awareness. So have fun on both, but always seek to become awake and aware beyond the mind of thought. Get your academics all you want. But remember to always keep yourself awake, especially you young ones who still remember where you came from. Love you all.